As road crews race to beat the winter weather on Vail Pass.
It's a windy, steep mountain section of the interstate.
Drivers anxiously await those improvements.
100% any improvement on the roads, especially for safety, totally supportive of that.
CDOT is spending $200 million, including $60 million in federal grants to improve Colorado's most prominent pass. The first of the major improvements is the addition of a third lane halfway up the pass in the eastbound lanes. That's ski traffic heading home from Aspen and Vail toward Denver.
The roadway on I-70 in this section is steeper than standard. Standard is 5%. The roadway in some sections is 7%. And so that's very challenging for our slow-moving vehicles and the larger vehicles. And so this provides more space for separation of those slow-moving vehicles from our faster cars.
The second is this, carving out portions of the mountain to straighten three of the most dangerous curves in the westbound lanes, often given the nickname the Narrows.
So this curve that we're seeing down here does not meet 65-mile-an-hour design standard. And also the existing bridge is substandard. It needs to be replaced. I'm not sure what the standards were when this was originally built in the early 80s and late 70s, but certainly we know now that this isn't working for the roadway now, and the crashes have been significant. So we're looking to reduce those crashes for drivers.
And the third part of this massive improvements project is this multi-use recreational trail up Vail Pass. Some of it is uncomfortably close to I-70, so CDOT is working to move more of it off the highway like this.
Recreation path was literally next to the I-70 shoulder. The new design enhances the recreation user experience and improves the safety for the recreation path.
CDOT says the project should be totally complete in 2025, and it is right on track.
I'm for the improvements too.
At Vail Pass, Russell Haythorne, Denver 7.
And one thing you may not know is this area of I-70 over Vail Pass has the highest crash rates per volume of cars on all of I-70. In fact, back in December, Governor Polis visited the area and shared some more data on this very issue. Over the past 10 years, there have been 210 full closures and 430 partial closures over Vail Pass. That added up to 1,500 hours of closures and cost the economy $1.5 billion. There was also once a very ambitious and somewhat outrageous idea to build a 9-mile tunnel through Vail Mountain to try and alleviate some of that congestion through the Vail area. And you can watch our full story right now on Denver 7 Plus for your streaming device.
And as CDOT finishes up Vail Pass, I know a lot of people are wondering when ski season's going to arrive. So resorts like A-Basin already working hard to make snow, open these things as soon as possible, but none of the Colorado resorts have announced a definite October opening date yet. To find out when actual snow might get here, Mike joins us with that.
Part of the problem is they take a couple steps forward at night with the cold temperatures, and then this happens. These are the forecast highs for tomorrow. Hard to keep that snow around when it's 67 degrees tomorrow in Aspen and 68 in Steamboat. But there will be a change coming up. This is the map tomorrow. Still warm and dry, and will stay that way for Friday. Things start to shift Saturday. A strong cold front coming in from the northwest. It's going to spread some rain showers into the mountains late Saturday night, and look at the snow coming into the high country for Sunday. Most of this will be above about 9,000 feet, but we could be looking at about a half a foot of snow along with much colder weather coming in. There's even a slight chance of some snow in the Denver area. I'll have your full 7-day coming up in about 15 minutes.
All right, thank you, Mike. Developing tonight, Denver police say a man posed as a rideshare driver in order to kidnap women leaving downtown bars and then sexually assault them.
And police say this man continued his scheme over the span of nearly 4 years and is now facing 41 felony charges.
Denver 7's Bion Wayne digging into the arrest warrant and uncovering what finally led police to the man they believe is behind all this.
It all came to an end at this Denver apartment complex in August, where Denver police arrested 41-year-old John Pastor Mendoza. But it begins back in 2018 here at the Matchbox Bar in Five Points. A woman separated from her friends after some drinks, requesting a ride home through an app. Sometime after getting picked up, the woman blacked out and woke up to a man touching her in an apartment she doesn't recognize. She escaped and went to the hospital, where an exam confirmed she'd been assaulted. Nearly identical experiences from 9 other women reported to police in the 4 years that followed. A night out drinking at a downtown bar, requesting a ride, blacking out, several of them waking up in a car or home they didn't recognize to a man sexually assaulting them. It was the last 3 victims this year at the Trax Denver nightclub that would unravel this case. In July, a woman reported ordering an Uber from the club. The driver's profile showed a white woman with a blue sedan, but the victim's friends say a Latino man in a white sedan picked her up and sped off before the rest of the group could get in. Police worked with employees at the bar who identified the man described as Pastor Mendoza, alleging he was a regular who they believed to be a Lyft driver. A victim recognized him as her alleged attacker. Police moved in to arrest him that same day. Bayan Wang, Denver 7.
And when police arrested Pastor Mendoza, they say they also found 18 cell phones. 2 of those phones belong to known victims. So anybody with information about the suspect or possible victims is encouraged to call Denver Police. The number there is at the bottom of your screen and also available on denver7.com. And if you or anyone you know are in need of help, in need of somebody to talk to, you can call Colorado Crisis Services anytime, 844-493-8255. Or if you'd prefer, you can text the word TALK to 38255.
And we did reach out to both Uber and Lyft to confirm if the suspect was ever a driver for them. Uber got back with us saying he never was an employee, and Uber added that all riders should always make sure their drivers' vehicles and descriptions match what is displayed in the app to make sure they're getting in the correct car. We are still waiting for a response from Lyft.
The Adams County Sheriff's Office has released new images of the car they believe is connected to that deadly house party shooting over the weekend. This suspect vehicle is a blue Chevy Tahoe, Colorado license plate 019FEF. The shooting was Saturday night near Sherrillwood neighborhood, Dakin Street and Greenwood Boulevard specifically. 1 person was killed and 7 others were hurt.
Last month, we first told you about a venue in Denver's Rhino neighborhood that was in hot water with the city for its noise violations.
Well, a settlement now has been reached between the city and number 38, but not everybody's happy about this. Amy Wattis joins us now to break down all the details.
And Amy, I know the venue isn't too happy about this, but others are saying this isn't going far enough.
Yeah, right. And here, Ann, is what the settlement came down to. The director of the Denver Department of Excise and Licenses ordered that number 38's cabaret license get suspended for 6 days and must pay a $2,000 fine. The cabaret license suspension means that number 38 is not allowed to have any form of live entertainment, including shows, music, games, or performances for 6 days. However, they are allowed to continue serving food and liquor to the public. In the settlement reached last week, the venue also admitted to
To put it in perspective, it was not that the neighbors object to music. They live there because they want to go to concerts, because they want to have a vibrant place across the street and down the block, and they do that. They go out to restaurants, they go out and they hear live music. But what they don't want is for them to be on conference calls and Zooms or trying to play with kids and to have their wine glasses in their house shuddering and falling over, and for it to be disruptive and not sleeping.
One of Downey's clients told me over the phone he does not see the settlement as a solution and instead as a delay. He's concerned that number 38 won't follow the rules down the road. The settlement does outline if number 38 receives another violation within the next year, they will have to completely close for 10 days. Now, number 38's CEO was not available to go on camera, but did give us a statement saying they have operated within what they believe to be the guidelines of the restrictions to their cabaret license. The CEO says it's filed a modification request to their cabaret license, which would meet the needs for both the community and their customers. Ann and Shannon.
All right.
Amy, thank you.
Thank you very much, Amy. And going deeper here, Denver's Department of Public Health is responsible for making sure that businesses, homeowners, and renters comply with the city's noise ordinance.
And I read up on the ordinance. I found out there are 17 specific exemptions to the rules, and they include things like bells or chimes from schools or churches. Emergency vehicles are exempt, along with snow plows and snow removal equipment. Also, you can mow the lawn anytime after 7 in the morning up until 9 at night. And interestingly enough, high school marching bands are also listed as one of the exemptions, as long as they're playing during school hours, either practicing or at a sporting event. If you ever have a noise complaint, you are encouraged to call the City of Denver.
Dialing 311 will take you directly to city services.